Hello fellow Harvest Moon fans! Today I'm going to list my top 5 Harvest Moon games. I'll give my reasoning for each rank, which I have based on a series of 7 factors, including graphics, customization, music, story, marriage candidates, vastness of land, and difficulty. 5th place goes to More Friends of Mineral Town. Harvest Moon More Friends of Mineral Town was the first Harvest Moon game I had ever played, and let me tell you, I was addicted. The characters had great dialogue, the farming mechanics were easy, and the overall feel of the game was really laid back. I still love this Harvest Moon, and while a lot of you may think it's biased for me to be grading a Harvest Moon game that is this old on the same scale as some of the newer Harvest Moon games, I believe that More Friends of Mineral Town is still a formidable opponent. The strongest factors this game possessed were its land, music, and difficulty. I love the way the land was laid out in this game. The fact that you could access the forest right from your backyard gave the game a great adventurous spirit. Also, just about all the locations in the game are available as soon as you start, which is a nice benefit compared to most HM games. Oh, and a side note, if Harvest Goddess Babe level was a legitimate factor, this game would totally take the cake. In 4th place, we have A New Beginning. To me, it's surprising to be putting such a new Harvest Moon game on a low rank here. I have to give this game some credit though, seeing as it was the first HM game to get me back into playing the series after a good 4-year hiatus. In terms of customization, this game was off the charts. I absolutely loved having the ability to fully customize my character for the first time in HM history. Also, customizing the entire village was a big perk to me as well. It kind of felt like My Sims to me in a sense, which is great. I love that game. The only thing I wish this game had done in terms of customization was lowering the requirements for some of the clothing and building options. The biggest downfall that most HM games face is lacking a good storyline. Unfortunately, A New Beginning did not have a great plot. Now don't get me wrong, it was not the worst, but I would have appreciated much more Harvest Goddess involvement to better improve the fantasy element of the game. Also, it really bothered me how the land was laid out. I hate having to run through town in order to access the wilderness. I would rather have it be closer to my house. And I have to say, I do appreciate the fact that this game has my all-time favorite bachelor, Neil. Also, the bachelorette Felicity comes pretty close as my all-time favorite female character as well. Other than that, I wasn't that big of a fan of the rest of the marriage candidates. The addition of the special bachelor and bachelorette pictures that roll once you get married was a really nice touch to the game. Overall, it was a really fun game, and I plan on playing it again soon. In 3rd place, we have Magical Melody. Not a lot of Harvest Moon fans have played Magical Melody, which surprises me because it was such a good HM game. The music in this game was so great, which is extremely fitting, seeing as the title coined the melody as being magical. I can testify it was indeed very magical. Aside from the great background tunes, this game had a vast selection of marriage candidates. Each one was very different and possessed a set of very relatable traits. More often than not, HM games tend to over-dramatize certain personality traits which make the character seem unrealistic. Magical Melody set a perfect balance for most characters and offered some unique traits that we had yet to see in other HM games at that point. Also, the story to Magical Melody was really cute and motivating. In terms of difficulty, it was pretty hard to find and conquer all of the melody notes if you didn't have access to any cheats at the time. I love it when Harvest Moon games make the Harvest Goddess a big part of the story, seeing as she is the dominant figure in terms of farming prosperity. Reviving the goddess makes my role in the game feel a lot more important. I'm glad I was able to get the chance to play this game because it is just so cute and easy to pick up. And also, here is a random quick fact for you. Your mayor in Magical Melody, Theodore, makes a surprising appearance 3 years later in Animal Parade as the circus ringmaster. I'm still looking for hints in Magical Melody to see if there's anything that indicates to this future change of career paths. In 2nd place, we have Animal Parade. A lot of you fans out there are probably pretty surprised I didn't put Animal Parade as my number 1. One One of my favorite qualities of Harvest Moon is customization, and Animal Parade was one of the first HM games to give your character a lot of freedom in terms of customizing clothes, crops, and pets. I mean, really? A pet squirrel? Yes, please. Animal Parade came really close as being my number one, but a couple factors did set it back in place. These factors include the music and vastness of land. The music was not the worst, but it could have been so much better. The tunes were highly repetitive and almost annoying at times. I mean, that shop theme just makes me cringe. It's very important to Harvest Moon games in terms of having a good OST, seeing as you hear just a few songs for really long periods of time. Animal Parade had a large map, but I really disliked the way it was organized. It was pretty realistic in terms of the setup, but very annoying when you have to make those long trips from Horn Ranch to the Garmin Mines. I was not a fan of the scenery either, but there was one location in the game that really won my heart over. I'll show you guys real quick so that I can make a point about it. This location, you can't unlock it until you give the lady at Marimba Farm a certain amount of crops that are at a certain level, and I believe it's for the yellow bell, and it's just so serene and romantic. I feel like the game could have done a lot more with this place other than just making it a bell location. You can see the background, and I wish that the path led to some more accessible areas. This place is so much more tranquil than the Garmin Mines. I wish with all my heart that the Goddess Pond had been put over here instead. Ugh, whatever. So, first place as my favorite Harvest Moon game goes to Tree of Tranquility. Now, I'm sure a lot of people out there think that Animal Parade and Tree of Tranquility are practically the same game. To that, I politely disagree. The games could not be more different, other than the marriage candidates. But really, other than that, the land, the music, the plot, the dialogue, and difficulty are all just completely different. Usually, I hate it when Harvest Moon games repeat characters. But in the case of Animal Parade and Tree of Tranquility, I think it was really okay. Not to mention, Animal Parade did include 4 more marriage candidates in addition to the original 16 in Tree of Tranquility. Even though Animal Parade was supposed to be a better version of Tree of Tranquility, I'm pretty sure the only thing that they really improved upon was the customization options. I really enjoyed that Animal Parade allowed your child to appear more closer to your spouse's appearance, seeing as yours is pretty basic, and I just wish that Tree of Tranquility would have taken on this new concept early on. Other than that, Tree of Tranquility had much more relaxing tunes, more beautiful land areas, and a much more ambitious difficulty. In Tree of Tranquility, you are tasked with completing recipes to create rainbows, which give you access to unlockable areas. Talk about a compelling idea. I love the concept of forming rainbows. In terms of fantasy for Harvest Moon, the more, the better. The pretty areas you can unlock are extremely rewarding and also helpful if you're a real good little forager. The items for each recipe get progressively more difficult to obtain as you complete them. The required items force you to utilize all of the available activities in the game, such as cooking, foraging, fishing, mining, and harvesting. In Animal Parade, your character was able to cut a lot of corners to avoid most of the activities thanks to some certain shopping inventories. But overall, I love this game, and I just can't get over how good it is. Before I end this video, there were a couple side notes I wanted to make. First of all, I did consider Story of Seasons in this top 5, but I didn't feel that it beat out any of the others. Also, the only Harvest Moon game that I did not consider in this video was Hero of Leaf Valley. I own that Harvest Moon game, but I do not own a PSP, so I've yet to play it. I've heard really good things about it, so I look forward to possibly reviewing it in the future. I've enjoyed playing every single Harvest Moon that I've ever picked up, except for Skytree Village. I am really looking forward to the new Story of Seasons. It comes out in 2017. The 2 things I'm looking forward to most about the game is the fact I will be able to dress like Princess Peach herself and have my very own pet Hamtaro. Well, until next time, you guys, bye-bye!